Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'd like to do an update on my Penjing ornament here, which is basically a bonsai tree but in a landscape that's got different plants and also ornaments and things like that. So since I last showed you it, I've managed to get my hands on a few ornaments. I put a few in. I'm not sure exactly which ones I'm going to keep, which ones I'm going to get rid of, but I'll show you which ones I have at the moment. So first of all, I have a small bridge here. So they're all resin based, all these things. They're not plastic, so they shouldn't degrade in the sunshine. Hopefully they find water as well. And then also over here we've got a small little house, you can see. I also have some steps on the far side here. I'll just show you them closer up. You can see some little steps. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. And at the very back here I've got quite a large bridge, which you can see there just underneath the tree. So that's how it's looking at the moment with all the ornaments. I'm quite happy with how they look, and I'll just give you a slightly better view of the whole thing. So the main feature on my Penjing is my Ficus benjamina cutting here. As you can see, it's quite large. It's probably a little bit out of scale compared with the rest of the plants, but I'm hoping to get it slightly more into scale. And then I've got some little climbers here. This is from a pratia, which is a ground cover plant which has nice white or blue flowers. I'm using that as a vine at the moment to grow up and over, and as you can see it's right up to here. So it's working quite well as a little vine. The Ficus benjamina here was a cutting, and what I've done is I've laid it across at an angle, and I've been trimming it and pruning it to try and make sure it doesn't grow too large. But what I need to do now is get the stem to thicken up more. So what I will be doing is I will be letting some of these grow for quite a while. Some of these shoots grow up straight and get quite large, and then I'll cut them back hard. And what that will do is it will help the stem here to thicken up more, because at the moment it's still quite thin for the width, and I'd quite like the base to be really fat and then thinner as it goes up. So I'm going to let this one grow quite a bit, and that'll thicken up the lower section, and then I'll let these grow a little bit as well to just thicken up the top, but I'll keep these a bit more pruned than this one so that it's generally a lot thicker at the base than it is at the end. Coming around to here, I can show you the roots. What I've done is I've put it on the stone. I think I showed this last time. What I need to do is probably take a bit more of the soil from here, expose more of the roots. So I'll probably do that in this video, I think. This is also where the vine grows from. It grows from this position and this position. We've got some interesting steps here. See, I'm not sure exactly if these are this. I don't think this will be the final position of the ornaments. I'll just kind of randomly put them in. I need to think a bit more about it and where to put them. What I'd quite like to do is have a little lake down here. And what I have done is I've put a little dish, you can see in there, but unfortunately there must be a small hole in the dish somewhere because the water only stays in there for a couple of days and then it just disappears. And it's too quick for evaporation, so I'm not sure why the water is not staying in there, but I need to sort that out. I've also got some little cacti just put in here randomly. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, if I'm going to leave them or I'm going to change them. I would like to maybe get some moss in the future to give it like a grassy look, because at the moment it just looks like mud, to be honest. It would look nice with some grass. And the main thing I need to do with my ficus plant is to get the leaves to get a lot smaller, because you can see the size of that leaf, it's well out of proportion. So as I say, let it grow big and then I'll cut it back hard once the stems thicken up. But generally I'm quite happy with how it looks. I find once I put the ornaments in, it really gave a good sense of scale. It made this feel a lot bigger than it really is. Especially you can see if you zoom in with the camera down the bottom here, and you use that as scale, you really can't tell how big this is, even though it's a lot smaller than my finger. It could be quite big. So what I'll do now is I'll set the camera up and I'll just get started with those roots. So what I'll do now is I'll just carefully select a few roots and I'll just cut out the ones that I'm not so happy with, and the smaller ones are going to die off anyway, so they'll have a nice view to the stone, because at the moment there's so many roots on here that you can't really see the stone at all on this side. So if I remove some of these roots which aren't actually in the soil, it should reveal more of the stone, and you'll be able to see that this tree is actually growing over the stone and not just kind of sitting on a lump of soil. So there we are. As you can see, I have cleared out quite a few roots and a bit more soil as well, so it's quite bare now. You can see a lot more easily the roots. What I have noticed is most of the major roots are at the back, and this one at the front, which is much more visible, isn't very thick. So what I might do is damage the roots at the back, so that what the plant will do is it'll put more energy into this front root, and that'll become more obvious because that's the root that's going to be seen the most. My other option, of course, is I could change the front of the display to be the back over here, and then the tree will be in the background to the foreground. So that's always another option. I'm not sure. That would mean obviously moving all of the stones and all the ornaments as well. That's it for now, my Penjing. I'll give you guys an update probably in spring when the ficus starts to grow a lot more. As you can see at the moment, it's got a minimal amount of growth because it's January at the moment, so it's middle of winter. It's not much light, and it's on a north-facing window anyway, so very little light. You can see there's a tiny bit of fresh growth, not a huge amount, but I'll keep this well fed, and so that whenever the sun does come back, it should put on some nice strong growth. I'll get some nice secondary thickening of the stem here.